What's good, YouTube? Today, hold on, let me fix this camera. Alright, today, I'm finna be reacting to some TikToks. Now, I don't know how the hell, I think they get sent in videos, but I don't know how these creators, YouTube creators, be reacting to these TikToks. So I just went to the app itself, or the website itself, the app, and then I typed in conspiracy theory hashtag. I clicked on the hashtag, and then I'm just gonna go through, scroll down from the videos on there. That's how I'm finna do it. I might make this thing the whole side over here just a little bit from this point on, so y'all can see the name and shit. I'll put it about like right there, so y'all can see the name of the TikTok creator, if y'all want to go follow him or not, because I didn't do that on the last video. I just put it just on the video itself. So I'm gonna get this whole piece right here. Let me scoot over a little now, because I know it's gonna take up some space. So let me get right there, and boom, let's get started and go.
This gas station is proof the elite have fake towns and cities set up.
There's cars here, and they're all literally dusty.
This screams fake
and
town.
It's dark inside this gas station.
Where are the
And there's
people?
nobody in their fucking car.
There's the cars. Where are the people?
That one's nice. It's just sitting there. Why are the cars dusty as fuck?
It makes no
The
sense.
lights off.
That place clearly isn't open, but
Ain't
there's
nobody in there.
there's cars just sitting at the gas station.
Hay for sale. The fuck?
What is that, a donkey?
What?
Right there.
Oh. What the fuck?
Fucking donkey.
Someone please explain this to me.
Gas.
This might actually be a fake town / city set up by the elite. Why would there be cars parked at the gas pump and they have dust on them? So they've been there a while and nobody's around. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird. This gas station.
I ain't gonna lie, I think that's true. What for? We ain't gonna know till we know. Just like everything else. Like we ain't know that COVID shot wasn't the real COVID shot. You feel? Wasn't what they saying it was. So yeah, we ain't gonna know till we know. But yeah, it's something to it. It's something to it. Or who knows? But, hey.
There's a theory that the Hoover Dam.
Some of these videos, I'm gonna have to skip through some of them because I didn't already watch them on my last one. So, yeah.
There's a theory that the Hoover Dam is secretly a demonic throne and that the government put.
And also, I don't even really be on TikTok. This is the only time I am on TikTok because this shit is. I just can't do TikTok. I don't know why. This is the only time I'm on here when I'm reacting to videos. I don't even be on social media at all no more. I don't even be on social media, but it's the only time I'm on here when I'm reacting to this. But if y'all, the only thing that I still have downloaded, I just don't even get on no more, is Instagram. But if you want to follow me, you can go follow me on there. But I don't get on that shit, so how you gonna follow me? I mean, it's my name on my YouTube. I ain't even putting it out there. You just gonna have to go see, because I don't really even give a fuck about those. But let's get back to the video.
You go to the Hoover Dam, you're gonna see something really odd. There's a spot that has two giant winged statues made out of bronze. They look like angels, right? They are technically called the winged figures of the Republic, but this is the weird part. No one officially says what they are. They're not angels, they're not demons, they're figures. And that's not random. There's actually a floor underneath them that is a cosmic map. Shows the exact alignment of the stars the day that the dam was completed. Like they wanted like aliens or gods to find this later. You'd think it's just some like artsy little design, right? But the guy who made that design said that this is specifically supposed to last for thousands of years. years. Like, that design was supposed to outlive our civilization. And this is where it gets a little darker. People also call this place the throne of the devil. But why would a dam need a cosmic star map and then two 20, 30-foot bronze guardians? And then all of these like occult looking type symbols. Well, get this. So over 100 workers died while building the dam. And some people do believe that their bodies were sealed into the concrete and that they were considered to be sacrifices to bless the sculpture. And then on top of all of this, the location of these statues don't really make any sense. Like, why would they have these big designs at a power plant? And if you're religious, you also have to remember Satan was originally an angel. Another crazy thing to note is that the Hoover Dam has been featured in dozens of end-of-the-world movies, disaster scenes, and games. It has always been the center of destruction and secret technology. And then it's like, is that a coincidence, or is it programming for us to see it as the key to something? Even the name Hoover comes from a president who was involved in major US power shifts, literal power and electricity. And this makes you wonder if the government is trying to hide in plain sight. Massive monuments with spiritual symbolism built into them. Government approved, celebrated, protected, and most of us never even question it. So when you pass by and you take a little selfie, you don't even realize you are standing on what some call a throne. But the question remains, a throne for who exactly? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more. There's a theory.
Now, I think I forgot his name. I forgot the YouTube channel name. I think it's My Lunch Break. I forgot who it was, but I think it's My Lunch Break. He did a video and explaining this and breaking it down. I forgot exactly what it was, because that's the only time I have ever heard that besides this video. But I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch that again. I believe I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna tell y'all in another video probably. But I believe it's My Lunch Break on YouTube. He breaks this down and why they put everything there. But if y'all really want to know though, all dams, go do some research on dams, because they made dams and changed the way the water flows. So like desert, the Grand Canyon, water used to flow through the places. And in my last video, I was in the one Jay Dreamers talking about the desert. Well, I was talking about at the end of the desert. I know one reason it's the desert for sure, because they put dams up and routed the way water flows and when it flows. So yeah, they changed, and now that's why the desert is so dry, because no water runs through there and it can't support life like that no more. That's another reason, but it's some other reasons exactly why, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. But on to the next video. I already watched this on my last one. Go check out my last TikTok video.
Dave Chappelle tried to warn us.
Do you know why Prince, the famous rock star that was a friend of mine, do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the fuck could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody.
Exactly. You may not know, but the ones who wrote that contract know, and that's why they put it in there.
Tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract The way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out, and it wasn't good money, and it wasn't good circumstances, but what else am I gonna do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table, and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends, and I didn't know it?
Do you agree with Dave Chappelle? Could there be a darker side to these contracts? Or is he making this up? Drop it in the comments. And TikTok, this video is for entertainment purposes only.
Listen, hell yeah. Listen. Yes, they was all friends. And what else he said? And that's why they get, okay, so listen, they not gonna get no person who's not desperate for the money. They come after the people that are desperate for the money, because then once they take that, they can take that money from you. And once they take that from you, then you're like, okay, I don't want to go back to the hood. I don't want to go back to the way I was living. So you end up calling back to them and then end up pushing their agendas. That's Kanye. We can name Kanye. That's why he went back. But we ain't gonna even get into Kanye, because that nigga, he used to push the agenda of exposing, but he's not really exposing nothing. He putting stuff out that's already known. If you've been doing research, you already knew about the stuff he was talking about anyways. He just exposing it to the people who didn't really know. But, yeah. It's all a hoax, bro. They act like behind closed doors, they all friends. But once them politicians or them artists or whatever that supposedly got beef, once they get in front of the camera, that's when the beef starts. It's action, lights, cameras, action. But once they get behind closed doors, they all friends and laughing at us because we fell for the trick and we believe them. Hell yeah, you're right. And and comedy is, they will expose them because they can use it and you know, slip it in. They can slip truth in. So hell yeah.
I saw a woman on here talking about, since the government shut down, where'd all the birds go? And you know what? She's fucking right. Where'd they go? Where are they? Hang on. Where the fuck did the birds go? I saw a woman on here talking about, since the government shut down.
I don't know about that.
I've been eating human meat for probably quite some time. I said what I said, it is what it is.
We all have.
Why are you looking at me like that? Because you have been too. We've all been doing it. 50 years ago, a film emerged that left audiences profoundly unsettled. Released in 1973, Soylent Green eerily predicted a future that we live in now. The film pretty much stated that by 2022, humanity would face a huge shortage in food. Now, in this movie, the lack of food caused the food suppliers to do the unimaginable, selling citizens human flesh. The film was marketed as science fiction, but what if it wasn't fiction at all? What if it was a warning? Now, in the film, a massive food shortage left people literally starving, leading to a complete environmental collapse. It is in this crisis that Soylent Green emerges as a crucial player. In simple words, they're the food manufacturers. They're distributing the food. The food that they were distributing was also called Soylent Green. It was literally a square, flat-shaped, like, cookie. It was supposed to be made from high-energy plankton from the ocean. This is where it gets wonky, and I truly believe that this is happening to us humans today. Okay, now think about it. Walk into any supermarket right now. The ingredients on boxes are listed with chemicals, natural flavors that aren't natural, food severely processed in labs. This is what really drives me crazy. All organic food is extremely expensive, but you can buy a lollipop loaded with sugar and bioengineered ingredients for 80 cents. Miss Ma'am. No. I don't know if any of you guys experience this. Like, I remember back in the day, if I went to like Wendy's to like go through like the drive-thru, the salads, bitch, a box of rabbit food would be like $7. You want me to pay you $7.89 for a box of lettuce? You have to pay more for something healthy versus unhealthy. It's almost like they want you to stay sick, stay contained, stay controlled. Here's the craziest part about the movie. In the movie, the elite people, the rich people, they ate regular food. Yes, they were eating regular food, but the poor people were eating the recycled humans. The decomposed dead bodies, they were feeding that to everybody. But the rich people, the elites, they were getting the good food. Literally, the movie tells you right there, if you're rich and you got money, you're gonna be taken care of. You're gonna be fine. But if you're unwealthy, poor, broke as a joke, they don't give a they don't care. But I mean, you should have already known that. They don't care. They're gonna feed you people. Yeah. What if in 2022 this actually happened? What if in 2022 they started feeding us humans, recycled humans? Maybe that's why there's so many mental illnesses today.
Listen. Boy. Now, hell yeah, we've been eating people. Listen, they said it was a food shortage, right? They claimed it was a food shortage, right? It's probably been a food shortage. And if it wasn't, and that was a real food shortage, well, first off, they push stuff like that for fear mongering, for, propaganda fear. You feel me? They push shit like that for fear, right? Chaos out of order, right? Or order out of chaos. But if that was real, first off, how is that when you driving on, when you taking a road trip and you see them 10, 2, 4, 5 cows on the side of the road, bro, that nigga, and that's every couple miles. How is that many cows gonna feed this many people in the world, bro? From fast food, from restaurants, to food in the stores. Hell yeah. And that's why the healthy ain't even really healthy. Cause they still spraying shit and putting shit in it or on it that shouldn't be there. Oh, like she said, lettuce, nigga. They supposedly lettuce ain't even real. That shit bending like rubber now. But they was spraying pesticides and shit on that and on the food all anyways. So even that ain't even really healthy. But we still gonna pay more for that. It's still better than eating that human meat and shit like that out of motherfucking McDonald's and motherfucking shit. So, bro, and then hell yeah, cause y'all remember when they was doing that bunker shit? Supposedly they had trucks, like the cows that y'all see on the edge of the road, that's for the rich people. They get the real cow meat. That's getting shipped to them bunkers and them underground basements and shit that supposedly they be talking about and Starbucks and them cafes that's underground for famous people and presidents, so they don't have to be off in the real world, like the open public. They can take an underground place and still have all them fast food places and everything under there. That they getting the real meat. The rich people know they gonna tell each other and spread. It's yeah. Wasn't none of that about.
Truth in plain sight, even in the 90s.
What can I do? Okay, yes. We are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money, and that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks, and it's not just a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no? See, I keep meeting these people. I mean, just a few days ago, I met this man who I greatly admire. He's a Swedish physicist, Gustav Bjornstrand, and he told me that he no longer watches television, he doesn't read newspapers, and he doesn't read magazines. He's completely cut them out of his life because he really does feel that we're living in some kind of Orwellian nightmare now, and that everything that you hear now contributes to turning you into a robot. When I was at Findhorn, I met this...
So, I'm gonna elaborate just a little more on that. It's like, you know how you play a video game and then you go talk to a person and then you get these 2 options to say or these couple options to say and you click one? That's kind of like what they do in the news or what they do in movies. They give you movies and TV shows, and when a person get into a conflict or whatever, they have to pick, they give you these two paths to choose, and you pretty much, like, whatever you watch, you become. Whatever you eat, you become. So if you're watching that over and over, eventually you're going to mimic and replicate that. So, yeah, he not lying.
When I was at Findhorn, I met this extraordinary English tree expert who had devoted his life to saving trees. Just got back from Washington, lobbying to save the redwoods. He's 84 years old. He always travels with a backpack because he never knows where he's going to be tomorrow. And when I met him at Findhorn, he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "New York." He said, "New York, yes, that's a very interesting place. Do you know a lot of New Yorkers with you talking about the fact that they want to leave but never do?" And I said, "Oh, yes." And he said, "Why do you think they don't leave?" I gave him different banal theories. He said, "Oh, I don't think it's that way at all." He said, "I think that New York is the new model for the new concentration camp, where the camp has been built by the inmates themselves, and the inmates are the guards, and they have this pride in this thing they've built. They've built their own prison, and so they exist in a state of schizophrenia, where they are both guards and prisoners, and as a result, they no longer have, having been lobotomized, the capacity to leave the prison they've made, or to even see it as a prison." And then he went into his pocket and he took out a seed for a tree, and he said, "This is a pine tree." He put it in my hand and he said, "Escape before it's too late." See, actually for 2 or 3 years now, Chiquita and I have had this very unpleasant feeling that we really should get out. And we really should feel like Jews in Germany in the late 30s. Get out of here. Of course, the problem is where to go, because it seems quite obvious that the whole world is going in the same direction. See, I think it's quite possible that the 1960s represented the last burst of the human being before he was extinguished, and that this is the beginning of the rest of the future now, that from now on there'll simply be all these robots walking around, feeling nothing, thinking nothing, and there'll be nobody left almost to remind them that there once was a species called a human being, with feelings and thoughts, and that history and memory are right now being erased, and soon nobody will really remember that life existed on the planet.
By the way, this video is scripted and for entertainment purposes only. Stay weird. Truth in plain sight, even in the 90s.
You own something.
Everyone is asking what really happened to Charlie Kirk.
I watched this on
the
my
official.
Proof we live in the Matrix. Proof we live in the Matrix. What do you notice? Look closely. Proof we live in the Matrix. What do you notice? Look closely.
I didn't see nothing. I'm just going on to the next one.
Ozzy didn't die on stage, but something definitely got passed on that night. His last show was really emotional. Fans were literally calling it his funeral. But if you look a little closer, it kind of seemed like a ritual where he passed the torch on to Youngblood. Now, I get people's interests change and interests evolve and artists change and evolve, but fans that used to hate him now love him. They're even going around and saying he's the next Ozzy, which inspired this fan theory. This is just a combination of a bunch of facts. This is just a fan theory. I am not saying it's true. This is just for fun. In 2022, Youngblood drops The Funeral. Ozzy appears and gives him this gold cross from his neck. Right before Sabbath's final show, Youngblood gives it back to him, and it's now covered in diamonds. And fans think that this is symbolic, like Ozzy offered protection and Youngblood gives it back transformed. Almost like he's saying, I'm ready. At the final show, Youngblood sings Changes. It's incredible, and the song itself is about like grief and evolution. He nails this. And some say that it doesn't feel like a performance, but it rather feels like a ceremony. Backstage, Ozzy tells him, go conquer America first. And that's not casual, it's a mission. It's like a king blessing his heir. You can even see during this part that Youngblood is on his knees, bowing to him. And yes, he is a king of music, but also maybe this is a little deeper. People notice Youngblood looks like a young Ozzy and an early Kelly. And at certain points, Kelly and Sharon have literally said it. It's not like vibes. It's almost like they're checking if this like transfer worked. In the funeral video, Ozzy touches Youngblood's forehead, and right where his third eye is in his forehead. And in occult symbolism, that is a spiritual trade-off. Legacy, power, energy. The Osbournes don't hype anyone up like this. But with Youngblood, it's socials, interviews, shows, they are loud. It feels like more than support. Maybe they have chosen him. Do you think there was a spiritual transfer? Do you think there was a ritual that worked? I'm over here for me to read the victim of a serial killer's diary. Ozzy didn't die on...
Listen. Yes, they can. They can transfer energy. They can transfer the energy and make people start pretty much worshiping them or, you know, loving them when they never even liked them. Go check out Black Balloon's channel, and it's some of his older videos about energy transfer and conscious transfer and all that. The truth is, shout out both of them channels. They talk about, and I think it's, the truth is, a couple of his older videos too. But yes, they can definitely transfer energy. They definitely can.
Popular social media star Speed appeared on a TV dating show, and during one of the show's interviews, something strange happened. Partway through his conversation, one of his eyes suddenly takes on a strange appearance. It seems reptilian-like, and many viewers immediately suggested that Speed could in fact be part of the conspiracy that lizard people have taken prominent positions on our planet. Is this just a trick of the light, or is Speed a member of the lizard people? Popular social media star Speed appeared on a TV dating show.
That might just be a ploy. That might just be a little fake out, trying to throw something at the conscious community and trying to just throw something out there to make them jump on it.
There's a video of the Queen when the Queen died.
Okay.
There's a mic on that they didn't know was on, and they leaked some information, and there was a conversation going on that wasn't supposed to go on live television. While they were recording it, you can hear the Queen's like team saying some weird stuff. Listen.
Death is irreversible, as you can see.
Okay, so this is during the Queen's funeral procession.
Yeah.
She said, this is the exact words, the death is irreversible, and the fact she is trapped. And then it just cuts off. So what do you think that means?
The death is irreversible? So it was planned?
I think, this is what I think. I think, like I said, what if at a certain time when you reach that level of power, success, whoever, just importance, something comes into you, or they put spirits, entities, or even different people.
It's either they try to do that or they try to transfer her consciousness over to another body. That's probably what they try to do. That's why they said they can't undo it. The death is irreversible, because they failed in the process of trying to do that. So yeah, they probably was trying to transfer Queen Elizabeth's, because she was getting older. in age, and when they get older, they transfer. If just like that movie, Get Out, just like Get Out, the older people, when they wanted some new bodies or something, they would transfer their consciousness to the other body, the black person or whatever, because they had stronger bodies and whatnot. That's why all them, they can do that. They can transfer their consciousness over so they can continue to keep that blood, that family line, and keep living forever.
There's a video of the Queen when the Queen died. Oh, or they put spirits, entities, or even different people inside of your body to control. Now she's saying the death is irreversible, but she's still trapped. Now this is just my own theory, but what if they mean by like she's still trapped? That spirit they weren't able to transfer to somebody else yet. So whoever that entity is was stuck in the dead body that they can't pass on.
Yeah.
There's a video of the Queen when the Queen died. There's a mic on that they didn't know was on, and they leave.
I want to ask you something, man.
Hey, ask me something.
Because I watch your videos, man. I made a review of one of your videos.
All right, what is it?
So I forgot what it's called, but you made a video. I want to know, man. Are you gay?
Gay, bro. Only for Ronaldo.
I know your father is a Christian.
Okay.
Are you a Christian?
Am I a Christian? Okay. See, that's a very, great question. You know what I'm saying? But let me ask you this, okay?
No. Answer the question first.
Okay, first of all, I came here to see Ronaldo. I'm in Manchester right now. You're asking me questions about God, okay? Let me tell you this. Stop talking to me, sir. Have a nice day.
I thought so. The man is gay for Ronaldo. His father's a Christian, and he's afraid to acknowledge the question because he knows what I'm saying is right. All those who sell their soul for money, for fame, and living in sodomite, effeminate lifestyles will find themselves in hell. I want to ask you.
Listen, even if he is playing, why even play like that? You feel me? He not playing. He not playing. You see on the side of this comment, it said, bro don't know speed joking. Y'all can't see the rest of it, but he said, bro don't know speed joking with the dead emoji. Bro, that nigga not joking, bro. That nigga dead ass. They just know how to put it in a comedy form to make you not believe that they for real.
What if Lucifer isn't in hell, but locked under the Vatican? In 1853, the church uncovered a hidden tomb beneath St. Peter's Basilica. Inside, a black coffin, wrapped in 7 chains, covered in 72 symbols, each one tied to a demon from the Ars Goetia. The church believed those symbols weren't decoration, they were containment. And each time the world fails, war, famine, corruption, a chain breaks. One snapped in 1914. Another in 1945, then 1968, and again in 2001. Only 3 remain. The Vatican denies the tomb exists, but deep beneath Rome, Lucifer is moving. What if Lucifer isn't in hell, but locked under the Vatican? In 1853, the church...
Okay, so what's your problem?
That's why in the end times they gonna fake an alien or the Antichrist. They're gonna use Project Bluebeam to fake that, and then it's gonna be the Antichrist coming back, not Jesus. It's gonna be the Antichrist coming back.
Okay, so what's your preference? What would you prefer me to do? You want me to get on here? Please stop scrolling and listen to my video? No, fuck that. Take your thumb off the screen and pay attention. Whole fucking world is in shambles. Fuck are we talking about? Is Donald Trump a news reporter? Has the President of the United States reported a series of events like this ever before? Is there not a normal, legal, structured process
for how news is released after a tragedy, after a murder, after an assassination. But Donald Trump, if I'm not mistaken, he was the first one to confirm the passing. And now he's giving us play-by-plays of what he wants to do and actions and steps that the FBI is taking and suspect. Is he a reporter? I try not to go down these conspiracy theory rabbit holes, but this one makes sense. There's details that make sense in this one. The conspiracy is that MAGA orchestrated this whole thing.
There's details that make sense in every conspiracy theory. You just gotta really search. Because if you don't search and you just have pieces, you're not gonna make sense of it. Just like a puzzle. If you just got pieces of the puzzle, you can't see the full picture. But if you got all the pieces of the puzzle and you put them together, it's gonna make the bigger picture, or you start to see the bigger picture as you put it together. So that's why I did research on every conspiracy not every conspiracy, but nigga, shit, almost every conspiracy there is, because you just don't know until you know, you feel me? So, yeah, you might want to keep on going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theory.
To one, distract people from the Epstein files, and two...
Oh, speaking of the Epstein files, my nigga, y'all might as well let that up. They is not... Every one of them is part of it. All the politicians, all the celebrities, all the entertainers, the models, the actresses, the football players, the basketball players, all of them is in on it. They not going, well, not all of them, but pretty much everybody from that people. Okay, so not all of them, but every one of those categories, there's a bunch of people that we know and some of us love, because I don't love them, so I ain't gonna say we, but some of us love that they, yes, bro, they is part of the Epstein list. They not finna let that out, bro. So y'all might as well let that go. Y'all, if you know, you know. You already know they're part of it, so you ain't even gotta get the list. You already know. And you can tell the ones who is and who ain't. Sometimes you can't, but 9 times out of 10 you can, because they always pushing the agenda and pushing the narrative. Then they got people that they put out to push the going against the grain agenda and fake exposing agenda, but they only exposing things that they can expose or that's already been exposed, but not too many people know about. So yes.
To do something more extreme and more nefarious to the opposing party, right? Sounds crazy, right? Why would they do something like that? As dark and evil as that, right? But here's the thing, right? Donald Trump has said an awfully lot about this occurrence. Earlier than we've heard from the hospital or the local police department or everything like that. They got mad at Kash Patel apparently because he was saying too much. Apparently he wasn't supposed to let us know that they had interrogated suspects and released them. He wasn't supposed to let us know that, right? But what really made me kind of be like, oh, fuck, with this whole was it planned by MAGA thing, that video he posted is AI. I done watched it over and over and over and over again. That video Donald Trump posted is AI. Y'all saw how his fucking pinky just shifted like that? That's an AI video, right?
I remember when I first seen that, I was watching Noah Jacob page, Noah Jacob TV, or Truth Is, or Black Balloons. I was watching one of them, but when I seen that Trump video, bro, I automatically was thinking, is this AI? You could tell by how everything was set up. It looked too good to be true. It looked real. It didn't look real. It looked like it was set up perfect. That shit looked like it was AI. You could tell. Then the pinky did some weird jumping shit and then disappeared. You ain't see that motherfucker no more. So yeah, you could tell that was that shit.
They said this is a deeply personal loss for Donald Trump, and he's giving his official remarks. And he can't do it himself, it has to be an AI video. I think it was because that video was already prepared.
It was.
They already had that motherfucker loaded up. Y'all remember when Drake dropped push-ups, I think, and then Kendrick dropped whatever right after the fact? No, it wasn't in that order. Whenever Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, shortly after Drake dropped Family Matters, right? Because he already had it posted, it was hidden, and then he unhid it and it was there, and we were like, damn, that was quick. I feel like they already had that AI video.
I'm telling you, it's all a game. It's all a game. That Kendrick and Drake beef, that shit was a scam. That shit was a game, bro. And lights, camera, action in front of the camera, yes, they beefing. But behind closed doors, them niggas is laughing because we falling for it. They is not beefing, bro. They even part of the same label. They use, listen, most of the time when people was beefing, they was part of the same label. When you really start researching on it, they was part of the same label. Anyways, the labels push that so they can use that as an agenda, a narrative, so they can make the artist bigger. Oh, have you heard about this beef? Oh, have you heard about this beef? Well, who you think really won? I think Kendrick won. I think Drake won. I think whoop, whoop, whoop. Kendrick way better rap. It's all just a scam to keep us just stuck on some bullshit, my nigga. Stuck on shit that don't even matter while they doing shit behind closed doors or even in front of our face. But we so stuck on something that don't even matter that we just letting shit slide by. You know how many bills, how many bills and shit that they didn't let slide by, my nigga. Like, how many, nigga, they taking our land right now. There's places in the forest that you wouldn't even think they can get tractors and shit to cut down trees and motherfucking trucks and shit to haul them back. My nigga, they is tearing down the Amazon rainforest right now as we speak. If you go watch POV channel or Desert Drifter, it's one of them. They go search random places on Google Map and then go hike there or go look at the place, go camping and shit. They actually go to the place. There was random places on Google Maps that they find. Yes, nigga, they is tearing down the wood. It's finna start looking, the Amazon rainforest over a couple of years is thousands or however many years it take is going to eventually look like the desert, my nigga. That shit is going to look like the desert because they're tearing that shit down as we speak, bro.
AI video when you just had a deep personal loss.
This shit all the game.
Right? Why, if you found out in the moment and you're shocked and you're hurt and this was a personal loss, you don't have the human decency to go up there yourself on camera and give your remarks? It's an AI video? The only explanation is that it was pre-prepared. And if you're going to pre-prepare...
And not only are they taking, they owning the land. Everything that they're trying to buy up all the land so we can't have it no more. It's our land anyways. The Indians, they taking our land from up under our feet and we letting them. They buying up all the land. Eventually, we ain't gonna have shit. We ain't gonna have no land. The government gonna own the whole America, literally, all the land, literally.
That it was pre-prepared. And if you're gonna pre-prepare an AI video about somebody's assassination that hasn't happened yet, you're the orchestrator, right? Another detail that is scary with how it makes sense, right? Immediately after this guy leaves Earth, right? You got Republicans and MAGA across the entire spectrum, right? Blaming the Democrats almost immediately. We're gonna wage war on the lefts. This is a crusade against the Democrats. All this stuff immediately after. When normally, when something like this happens, the police prefer that people don't do that because it makes finding key details a lot harder. It really muddies the water when everybody's throwing in their motives and their reasons and things like that. The Republicans, the lawmakers, they said, fuck that. This is definitely the Democrats. We're going to muddy these waters right now. Fuck a police investigation. That's weird. That's uncommon. That's a big deal. And I'm really thinking like, okay, out of all these events this guy has had over the years, all these different colleges he's been to, all this public exposure he's had over the years, why Utah? Why this moment? Why September 10th? Why a predominantly white state, a predominantly red state? Why there? Why now? Why was it such a calculated, targeted, successful hit? One shot to the neck? One and done? Gone in the wind? I think they have the suspect now. Let's hope it's not a fall guy, you know? I do hope they catch him, you know what I'm saying?
It is.
But none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense.
Because first they caught, if you, shout out Didi Got a Podcast, shout out to his channel, shout out to him. If you go watch his video on the first person that they caught, the first person that was involved, or supposedly the shooter, or the suspect, that's what I was trying to get the word, the suspect. It was an old man, and he's been involved in other agenda, like 9/11. He called in on the 9/11 when that happened. He's like a chaos agent. They put him out there for he's a chaos agent. Shout out to Didi Got a Podcast. He did a whole video on him, and then they caught Tyler, the real suspect, 33 hours later. Why 33? You gotta pay attention to numerology as well. You gotta pay attention to the numbers. They use numerology. Why 33 hours later? Why not 32? Why not 34? And how did they catch him 33 hours later? They said that he was sending texts, and shit like that, and he broke down the rifle and then put it back together or some other shit in a couple minutes while trying to change his clothes and some other, that made the shit sound like a whole movie scene, my nigga. They're making it sound like a whole movie scene, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up making a movie on this shit, my nigga. This shit is all a game, bro. That Charlie Kirk shit, that shit is all a game.
To try to blame it on the left and the Democrats, I feel like they had ample opportunity to do so prior to September 10th. None of this makes sense. But shortly after that birthday book gets released by the Epstein, as soon as the birthday book that is related to the Epstein files gets released, that happens at Utah, right? In Utah, right? A major event that has gripped MAGA, taken their attention off of the Epstein files, and now they're pissed off and wrongfully blaming the Democrats. What a beautiful thing for MAGA. And now all the Trump administration has to do is fake mourn the loss of a major supporter. Mind you, this is all allegedly. I don't want to get on here and speak as if this is proven facts and things like this. I went down a conspiracy rabbit hole, and the details within that hole have logic behind it.
Listen, if it has logic behind it, sometimes you gotta use your brain, critical think. People tell us what to think all the time. From the news, from the books, to the newspapers, when people used to read that, when it was the radio, when people used to listen to that. They tell us what to think all the time, bro. And then it's not until you get into the conspiracy theories of what's not in the widely talked about, the unpopular opinion, 9 times out of 10 is be the right opinions. They push stuff on us. We gotta wake up and realize we gotta use our brains. We gotta start using our brains.
With you, when the fuck in American history has?
And I could tell that he really went down the rabbit hole on this shit. Because when you really search on the conspiracy and start finding out shit like, wait, hold on, what the fuck? And it's really true. You can go search this, and then it lines up with this, and then this lines up with this. It starts blowing well. Because when I was first finding this out, first it makes you mad, which is what he is right now. It makes you like mad, and then you'll start not getting like depressed, but like you'll start kind of getting like depressed, because then you're like, okay, so what is real then? Is everything fake? Is everything, you feel me, once you start really getting into it? And then you'll end up out of that finding your purpose and learning exactly who you truly are, because you got to look at history. Once you start looking at history too, that really like put you in your purpose, because you don't know who you are if you don't know the history, if you don't know where you come from. you could think you was Ethiopian, but you really was motherfucking, I don't even know, Arabian or some shit. You feel me? But you wouldn't know who you was if you didn't went and go back and look at your family history. I bet a lot of people right now don't even know that they really Indian. If you in America, you really Indian. If you was born in America, you Indian. Go back and check your family history, your genealogy. I bet you, I bet that you most likely in. I bet.
It plays.
But you can tell he really went on the rabbit hole about this because he it looked like it, like, yeah, you could tell that he did his due diligence and his research on it.
It plays like this.
He couldn't wait to talk.
Hell, did Donald Trump say, oh, the kids that were shot in this massive school shooting, it's been confirmed that 2 passed away and 3 will recover? Has he ever reported anything like that on any other tragedy? But he has such quick information on this one? And it's such a deep personal loss that he can't even record a video that's actually him. It has to be AI? An AI video that was made after it happened, not before? You're asking me as a grown, intelligent man to ignore things that make sense.
Come on, man.
I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. Oh.
Come on, man. He said it himself. He said it himself, man. If it resonates, it resonates. I mean, hey, he said it himself, but that's the end of this one. And I would advise y'all to go down the rabbit hole on the conspiracy theories of things, because when you do, you start finding out the truth of the real world that you didn't know you was living in. Because the whole time you thought you was living, but really wasn't living. That's why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. But we're not going to get into all that. That's a whole other topic on its own. But I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.